Hey everyone, back to you with the Philips N1700 here. So that head drum belt that I ordered from eBay came in today. Yeah, put it in a nice box too. So that's what it is. That's what it looks like. It's a. I use the dimensions from Colin Video 99.co.uk has a video where, at least a segment of one of his videos, where he does give dimensions of the head drum belt that he's had success with. This is an 83 millimeter flat that's 5 millimeters wide, and this one has like a millimeter of thickness to it. So that should hopefully be a good enough bite for the motor. Let me actually take it out, see what it feels like. Yeah, it's got good resistance to that. Okay, so that should hopefully work. So I'm gonna flip this thing over, and then I'm gonna try and do the replacement. Let me get a good grip here. Use my big gut to flip it over. Okay. So again, getting inside here. No screws, just, at least on this one, no screws. Because I see there's like 2 slots for screws. I mean, it looks like there would be small screws that go in there, but there's at least none that came on my model. Then over here. Okay, and then power supply. So this here is what we want to change. So let me think. So we have to loosen that screw. Is there another screw holding this thing in there? There ought to be. Oh, yeah, right here. Okay. So those have to get loosened, and then this is gonna get. I can probably just take that because this thing is pretty. Probably just take this out now without even having to loosen anything. Oh, I guess not. So, all right. Enough talk. Let's see how am I going to do this. And I know that one of the belt for the spools, I can see that's getting loose. So I feel like okay, this one's going to work. Or is it? There we are. Okay. So I loosened the screw on the bottom here. There's a screw on top here. That's but this one is one of those where it's a it works also as like a clamp for some wire, so I gotta bend that out of the way so I can gain access to the screw itself. Now, do I need to get them out all the way? Let me only do it part way and see how much. Oh, there's a third screw. In between this board and the like space between the motors, there's another screw just trying to hide from me. There we go. Okay, so that's already that's much better. Okay. Get the light there. So you see the pulley for the head drum belt. Trying to see if that needs cleaning. This here needs cleaning because the belt left some residue. It's not goo, but it left some streak marks on the rotor here. Kind of afraid to like loosen it completely. I feel like it's going to be a real pain to get the screw back in. So I'm trying to avoid doing that as best I can. I'm just taking the screws out at this point because, man, oh man, I cannot. I practically can't, like, see what the heck I'm doing. I'll leave the top screw in at least. Yeah, that is like entirely on the bottom of the motor pulley, so that's where it's getting stuck at. I'm being given no choice here. I'm cutting that belt. That maybe I can work it out of there. Well, I didn't want to do that, but I was like literally given no, because I didn't want to mess up the capstan belt. But while I'm here, let's see. So the capstan itself is held in by that screw. This is not going to mess up the position of the FG head because the FG head is mounted on this piece of metal here. So as a capstan belt, we lay flat on something. The capstan belt itself looks okay. While I have it out, I'll like give it a clean. Oh, I'm putting it flat on the surface and seeing, if it retained its shape. Looks like it did. That's good. Okay, so here you can get a much better look at the spools. So this is a tape counter belt. I'm not concerned about that. But in order to get the spool belt off, I have to take off the tape counter belt. Then I can just remove the motor, which is held in by two Phillips head screws. Yeah, I wish I didn't have to do that to the head drum belt. But I was like, I felt like I had no other choice at the time. The new belt looks to be a little smaller, so I'm guessing this thing just lost its shape over the years, and that's how it fell in between like the motor and the pulley, because that's why I couldn't get it out. This is a Philips, like a 2 rated Philips head. I like using this for in general. So it works with nearly all the Philips heads I come across. There we go. Oh. Okay, and the motor's just going to fall down. No, I don't want... Okay, that should be fine. I don't want them scratching up the magnets on the capstan. Yeah, that is... Look at that. Nice little dent there. When you open up like the Quasar Great Time Machines, the belt for the playback motor like keeps that shape too. Like those belts are always sensitive to like bends. I'm not concerned one bit for the tape counter. That's just like a nice to have. It's not a requirement in my book. Oh, jeez. Doing this is determine this how well they spin up. This one here, I like to get some oil on that thing. Yeah, it stinks too. This thing is kind of mounted on the, because you see it's soldered in. Is it possible to loosen these up? I would like to get, because I feel like this one needs a little bit of oil. I think it's going to be easiest to remove this metal bracket and in order to get the oil in there, because it looks like a very small clearing. It's bigger. It's really drive these brackets up. I don't think as long as I orient the bracket to where the maybe I should still mark that before I fully, just in case I end up realizing orientation does matter. Let me just get a little marker. There, I put a little marker on it so that I know how it was originally oriented. I just don't want to find out the hard way that orientation matters. Guys, can't really do with my fingers. Should work with pliers. I feel like I always got it. Shoot. I'm not sure how well my plan's working out here. There we are. So is that giving? I gotta change batteries on these soon. Just barely doing anything. Hopefully that'll give us, that'll let me get some oil in there. That's my main concern with that one. The other ones feel fine, they don't feel stiff. It's only this guy that feels stiff. I feel like he shouldn't be that stiff. Should be some free movement. So I'll be back. Okay, guys, I'm back. I ran in one to clean the capstan belt. It ended up not being dirty. I used the soap and water to clean it up, and yeah, it wasn't too dirty. So the capstan belt ended up faring out here, but also new batteries for the headlamp. Oh my goodness, I can actually see what's going on in here. Okay, so recap. So here's the capstan here. You got magnets on here for the FG head here that monitors how fast it's going, and then the circuit will determine if it's going too fast or too slow. The head that detects these magnets is on the this mount here, so as long as you got all the screws back in, we don't need to realign that. This is the motor I wanted to first clean the pulley off of, but also get some oil like down the bearing there, because it does feel a bit stiff, and I have to imagine it's not supposed to feel like that. I have to imagine if it should, not give too much resistance, like because the head drum motor as well as the capstan spin, rather nicely. So, get a little sip of coffee. I'm not from the part of Jersey that pronounces coffee like that, but I think, how do I say it? Coffee? Yeah, because the stereotypical way to say it is coffee. When people talk about Jersey, I find that they're just talking about like North Jersey, well, Newark, but I think it's technically supposed to be pronounced Nork. Whatever the hell. Like that area, not like where I grew up in Ocean County. So, got some isopropyl here. I'm going to clean the head drum pulley. Yeah, my nose has been on and off like runny out of nowhere. It's definitely not like a cold or anything, because when I get actually sick, I don't feel like agitated in my nose. I just feel like, like out of it all over. When it's like an allergy thing, it's just like irritation in my nose. So, I think I just gotta take some Zyrtec. Okay. So yeah, a fair amount of dirt on that thing. Dude, I can tell you that my brain's really been rotting this past year. Because when I said that thing, I was thinking of like the Hawk Tua meme. Oh my goodness. And I think like I was watching like either movie I was watching last night, like someone was saying, talk to, and I went to talk to that's where my mind wandered. It's like, oh my goodness, what is happening to me? It's probably gonna be as clean as we can get it, because the pulley looks pretty decent. It's this guy here that's like has the streak marks on it. So I can probably get away with using this end one less time. So let's make sure. would at least like that to be minimized before I do anything else. Ooh. Oh my! Oh, my hand must have grazed one of those things because I got grease on my palm. I wonder if it's easier to just use like a paper towel, not paper towel, a piece of paper soaked in alcohol. Guess I'm getting. In my last video on this unit, I was talking about I was talking about the coffee I got. I was saying it's from Heritage. However, now that I think about it, I think it's technically pronounced Heritage, the chain. So I've heard it pronounced like either way. And even my mom was asking the employees once how to pronounce it. One said Heritage and the other said Heritage. So go figure, right? Okay, that's looking better. Get some sweet farts there still. Might be as good as I can get it. Yeah, that should be fine. Okay, now onto the capstan. Oh yeah, capstan's got February gun on too. Oh, I see what's going on. The rubber, the rewind, fast forward out of the tire is pressed up against the spool here, so that's what that was going on. So I was spinning this, and I'm like, why is the other spool spinning? Well, this format does rewind, fast forward, similar to the Quasar system. The Quasar system, you had a separate idler tire for rewind and fast forward, and that's connected to the main motor via its own square belt, and then you get solenoids to engage it and rewind and fast forward. This format does it kind of similarly with its own idler tire for the high speeds. Really wash my hands. Well, before dinner, I'll shower, so that generally cleans up all of the big messes I make. So let's get to the capstan pulley here. Not too bad. Not too shabby. Yeah, that's fine. There's a switch, on the there. I don't know what that's for. Wonder if I should give it a spray of Deoxit just to make sure that's good. I mean, while it's out, because I really don't want to have to, undo these once I get the belts back on. So here's this motor here for the spools. There's definitely some crap on that. And again, we're cleaning the belt residue off these spools because the belt residue can impede, how good of a contact the belts make with the pulleys. So that's why you want to clean the pulleys with isopropyl alcohol. There's one last thing there. One last little drip of old belt onto what's going to be the interesting part is how am I going to get oil So I can move the shaft up and down, but it's like really stiff. I think I should play safe and just do it my usual way, which is to get like a decent sized flat blade screwdriver tip. Get the oil on there. That's got oil on it. Okay, there we go. I saw the oil touch the bearing. Hit it again. Okay, that part's definitely improving. I think I'll have to clean the pulley again once I'm satisfied with how much oil's in there. Yes. Okay, but that is a vast improvement, or I can feel it. Yeah, for sure. Okay. Okay, I think I will have to call it there with the oil. I like to use like a small flat blade, get some drops of oil on there, and then get it into like the shaft of the motor. That's how I get oil into tight spaces. If you've seen Rene Gonzalez's videos, his one, which I think I should get at some point because it definitely looks easier to use than my method. So the spout itself is like really like needle thin, so you can like get into like these hard to reach places. So I'll wash my hands and then I will clean up the pulley again, just make sure there's no oil anywhere, and then I think I'll get the belts on because we should be ready for that at this point. All right, guys, I'm back with a clean set of hands, and I am going to clean this motor, clean the pulley one last time before putting a new belt on there. And I'm doing this just to make sure that if any oil did get on like the pulley, it won't cause a slipping issue. Yeah, because that's spinning quite freely now, so pretty confident in the work I did on that. So I'm going to put this bracket back on. Got the mark here, so I know which way to put it. Is it visible? Hopefully it is. Yeah, because how I got it on, I kind of end up doing it one by one. So hope to God I don't graze myself. Pliers. Yes. Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. Here we go. All right. Now just to, okay, so the bracket's back on. Now I'm just gonna bend these over. I don't think it's gotta be perfect, just enough so that the motor can be held in place. But yeah, to recap, I took off the bracket because otherwise there really wasn't any clearance to get to the bearing of the motor. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Whoa. Well, shoot. You see that? In all my struggling, the wires came loose. Oh dear, oh dear. Well, might as well make the use of it, the best out of it, because now I can really push these down so that I can yeah, I can use the edge of my bench to push the tabs down. Okay, I don't think that's going anywhere. Yeah, okay. So, well, now we gotta hook it back up. So it does mark positive and negative on here. So I'm hoping that means the red's positive and the white's negative. Barely enough room to work with, so I gotta get the wire cutters to make a better gap. Get my iron ready. I'm quite high because I was working on some lead-free soldering the other day. In order to get that stuff to work, you need like very high temperatures. To be honest, I don't know how good I can get it. My wire cutter, strippers rather, well, it's a dual stripper and a cutter, but those ones can only go so low. So for something that thin, I gotta like strip them from a side, from an angle rather. Okay, so again, I'm assuming white's that the red's positive and the white's negative. But we'll see how true that is. First, let me refill the joints on the motor itself. Actually, it makes more sense to fit the new belt, screw it back in, and then resolder the broken wires. I'll do that. So first, I want to clean the pulley here. Oh, I don't know how good I can get it. That should be okay. Okay. And then just for funsies, I'll get the tape counter pulley too. Just make sure everything's squeaky clean. Then, okay, that should be fine. So this is the old belt here. I've already set aside some potential replacements. These guys here, they're all like millimeter thick. This one looks to be like your typical like 1.5 millimeter thick belt. So, okay, so like that one might be good, but I would prefer something smaller. So I'm gonna try this guy, who's kind of like in between the diameter of like these other two belts. So to fit the new belt, here's our motor. I think the best thing to do, take the new belt, get it on the already fit on the pulley there of the motor. And then once you get it here and you screw it down, the belt can't go anywhere. So as long as I get a screw there, it's going to be a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. Okay. I should have put the bit here on the screwdriver, but live and learn. Okay, that should be good. Okay, just wrap it around the pulley here. Rotate this. I think it fell off the motor pulley on. Oh, these are posi drive screws. I just noticed. Yep. Oh, so this is going to be a lot of fun. Trying to fit the belt around. Should be motor now. Got it. Come on. Okay, there we go. Actually, while the wires are disconnected, let's actually power the motor up and see how it works. So that belt looks like it's got a good fit. Looks like it's nice and snug there. Well, the camera died out mid repair there, so I don't know if any of that's going to get lost, if any of that's lost or what. But I just got the capstan belt back on, and I'm going to now attempt to get the head drum belt on. It's a good thing I looked over when I did. try and get it onto the pulley. Work my fingers around there. Okay, it looks to be on the pulley of the motor. Now I'm going to just get that around. There we go. That actually wasn't so bad. Let me just make sure. Oh, wait. Okay, so now get the screw to fix, because the belt's pulling it, this whole assembly, like towards that, and the pulley's so big that it's actually going to scrape against the bottom of the rotor once you get the screw on. So that's what I'll do. Yeah, I don't know why this camera's been so finicky lately with the battery and all, because now I have it plugged into, now I have it just plugged in as opposed to using the battery, because it seems to be way more reliable when you plug it in than the battery. Because for one thing, the battery on these things have like a fly's lifespan. Like they're only good for at best like an hour, and then before you gotta charge them again. But it's just been like cutting out random, and I'm pretty sure the file, if it stops mid-recording, the file, I think, gets corrupted. So that's what I'm peed off about. Now, I'm probably gonna have like some corrupted files of like, you know, while I was trying to do some maintenance, trying to do some repairs. I've noticed you gotta be really patient here. Okay, there we go. I have you now. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. Yeah, and then lastly, we'll get these back on. This here is what holds the capstan FG head sensor in place. With this last screw, I can hopefully be done with this part of the repair. Changing the belts on this thing has not been the kindest thing to do. It's really annoying. Okay. Tighten that up. And tighten this up. Oh, my goodness. That was rough. That was rough indeed. But we got new belts on here. They all seem to spin fine. The capstan belt is still the original belt, or at least the belt that came with this unit, because that one was not misshapen. I'm going to see about firing this thing up again. Last time we discovered that the unit would not properly power on, because how it works is the clock, what I'm trying to say, how this unit, how the power on operation works, there's supposed to be, the clock is always on, and then when you insert tape, you're supposed to press that button there to thread up the tape. So the clock's going. But as you can tell, there's nothing going on. And if I put that in, even with the tape in, it's not signaling the unit to power on. So that's the hurdle now, is to figure out why the heck it's doing that. Well, I think I'll just stop it there, because this video's already going to be a pain to edit all the little things out and see if any of my video files got corrupted or what, and see how much footage I lost because of that. So, if you stayed this far, I can't thank you enough. Thank you for suffering with me on getting new belts on here, and cleaning up old ones and making sure all the motors are up and running. Hopefully I come back here with some new leads. Thanks for watching, and have a good day, everyone. See ya.